friends, today we are going to study a very beautiful poem, the first poem of your English textbook First Flight. The name of the poem is The Dust of Snow. The poem has been written by Robert Frost. Let us see what magic does he bring in this poem. Dust of Snow. Okay, the first of before I start the poem, I would like to talk about Robert Frost. You know very well that Robert Frost was an amazing poet. You have already read his poem, The Road Not Taken, in the year class 9th. Do you remember? Yes. So, Robert Frost generally talks about the life philosophy. Okay, the philosophy of the life in his poem. Okay, you can take any of his poem. Rather, you can take The Road Not Taken. You can take Stopping by Snowy Woods. In most of the poems, he just talks about the philosophy of life. Okay, so where you can actually get two different meanings. One will be the straightforward meaning. Okay, and the other will be a different meaning. You have to dig up for that. Okay, so this poem is very small. You can see only 2 stanzas are there, and there too only 4-line stanzas are there, and there too 4 words in each line. Okay, not more than that, 4 to 5 words. Okay, so the stanzas are small. Okay, the poem is very small. Okay, but the meaning is very deep. Okay, the meaning is very deep. This is the magic that Robert Frost does. Okay, he's a miraculous poet who actually brings a number of learning in his poetry. So let us see what happens in this poem. Okay, what new things we are going to learn in this poem. So before I go, I must talk about the title. The title of the poem is Dust of Snow. Dust of Snow. So you would know very well that snow is not a dust. Okay, but the snow particles. Okay, when we go to the cities or the areas where you can see the snowfall, so there you will find when the snowfall ends. Okay, so after that you can find much dust snows, or we can say snow particles, either on your window panes or somewhere else on your roof. Okay, so these are the dust, okay, which we human being clear. Okay, but let us talk about a tree. Okay, so here the way a crow, so which creator? Our first character is crow. The way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow. Okay, the way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow. The dust of snow from a hemlock tree. So 2 characters, 2 protagonists, or we can say 2 things, 2 objects are there in this poem. Let us talk about them. Crow and hemlock tree. So crow, you would not have heard many poetry on crow. Agree? Yes. So crow is actually black animal. It doesn't have much charm and beauty. Okay, so we can say that it's not a good looking bird. Okay, so crow is not a good looking bird. Here we are having crow. Okay, not much good looking. Okay, next thing is hemlock tree. Hemlock is basically a poisonous tree. Poisonous tree. Okay, that means the tree has poison. The tree is not actually used. You would see that even this tree, you would see neither the crow nor the tree, the hemlock tree. Okay, neither the crow nor the hemlock tree would have appeared in most of the poem. Actually, they are very rare. I must say they are rarest. So here the poet has chosen 2 objects which have never been seen in the poetry. Okay, which are very rare. Okay, and these both objects, actually these both the characters or objects are the symbol of negativity. You can say it's not good looking. Poisonous tree. Okay, does not provide you flowers, fruits. Okay, nothing. So both the things, the natural things which the poet has used are the symbol of negativity. Okay, so what did the poet say? The way a crow shook down on me, the way a crow shook down on me, the dust of snow, the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. Okay, so it means what? The poet is sitting under the tree. Getting it? So poet is sitting under the tree, and two negative things he's talking about. It means the poet's mood, the poet's mind is negative at that time. The poet is in unhappy mood. Okay, so what he says, what do we understand? Okay, there can be a question. Okay, there can be a question. Okay, how do you know? You can write down the question. How do you know that poet's mood is not good? Okay, how do you know that poet is in depressive mood in the poem? Okay, so how do you know? So we know this because of the use of crow and hemlock words. Okay, these two natural objects are the symbol of negativity. We have not seen them much in the other poetry. Okay, crow, which is not good looking. Okay, and hemlock is a tree that does not give us fruits, sweet fruits. So both the objects are symbol of negativity. The poet talks about the negative objects. That means definitely his mood is not good. Getting it? That means definitely he is in sorrow mood, he is unhappy, and definitely he is actually repenting, is thinking about his past. Okay, this is the common cause by which we feel negative, we feel unhappy. Okay, whenever we start thinking about our past, we generally become unhappy. Okay, so the way a crow shook down on me, the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. So what does the poet say? The poet says that he was sitting under a tree, his mood was not good, he was unhappy, and suddenly dust of snow falls upon him. Okay, so dust of snow falls upon him. It doesn't mention where, on his head or on his shoulder. Okay, where? It doesn't mention. So dust of snow falls upon him. Okay, and then what happened? What changed? Has given my heart. Has given my heart. So here he is saying heart, but we can consider mind also. Okay, has given my heart. Actually, when we think from the mind, but when we are thinking about the past, we are thinking about the emotions. So basically, we are thinking for the heart. Has given my heart change of mood. Okay, a change of mood. So his mood was unhappy. He was not happy. Okay, sorrow, and that changed. So that means the change is now he becomes maybe positive. Okay, when he was negative previously, but maybe in the second stanza he becomes positive. Okay, his mood is changed. He's not unhappy now. Has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. So what does he say? That saved some part of what? Of a day. Saved some part of a day. That means the day which he was about to waste sitting under a tree repenting for the past. The day which he was about to waste thinking for the past. Thinking and crying actually. Okay, feeling negative. So he was about to waste his full day. But now when the dust of snow fell upon him, his mind is changed. Okay, now he doesn't want to stay there, doesn't want to stay there and waste his time. Doesn't want it. So he feels with positivity. Okay, so positivity comes. And where does the positivity comes? The positivity comes from the two negative objects. So what? So what? He wants to convey a message that in the life you will find many small things, insignificant object. Okay, you will say that these objects, these things, these happenings, these events are insignificant. They are not much of use, and you will actually think, you will not try to take out any positivity out of that. You will not become, you will not have any optimism. You will just think for the past, and you will just waste your time, my dear. So the poet wants to say that don't do that. Don't waste your time. Even try to find out happiness among the small things. You will definitely find happiness in your surrounding. There are n number of natural things which can give the happiness. No natural object is a negative object. Nothing is negative in the world. Getting it? Getting it? So what happens? Let me remind you again. Let us recall. The poet is sitting under a tree, and the tree was the symbol of negativity. On that tree there was a crow, and the crow is also symbol of negativity. The crow just cleans away some dust from the tree, and that fell upon the head of the poet. Maybe head, maybe shoulder. It is not mentioned. So the particle of the dust particle or the particle of the snow fell upon poet, and the poet's mind is changed. The poet who was repenting for his past, he was thinking for his past. Now suddenly starts believing, he thinks for positivity. He feels with positivity. He thinks that he was just wasting his time over there sitting under the tree. Okay, rather he should continue with his work, and he should be positive, and he should move ahead in his life. Is it clear? Is the poem clear to you? Sure? That's all. The poem is over. Now we are going to have a look at the poem. We'll talk about the rhyming scheme first of all. A rhyming scheme of the poem. Okay. So if I say crow is A, me will be B. It does not sound like crow. When it does sound like crow, we will call it A again. So crow is A, me is B, snow. Snow again sounds like crow. So again I'll write A. Tree again sounds like me. So I'll write B. A B, A B. What is the rhyming scheme of first stanza? A B, A B. Okay. So the rhyming scheme is A B, A B. Do you want to go for second stanza? Has given my heart A. A change of mood B. And saved some part. Heart and part rhyme together. Again A. Of a day ahead rue. Then mood and rude, they sound together. So again it is A B, A B. So what is the rhyming scheme of the poem? The rhyming scheme of the poem is A B, A B. Getting it? A B, A B. Clear? Sure? 100%? So we are going to talk about the figure of speech, the literary device that have been used in this poem. So line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, line 5, line 6, line 7, line 8. Look at the poem, look at the lines. In the very first thing, do you find any punctuation mark at the end of the line? Do you? No? So, change of line without a punctuation mark. Change of line without a punctuation mark. First thing, do you see that? Okay. What is this? This is known as enjambment. Which figure of speech? Enjambment. No comma, no full stop, no symbol, no punctuation is given till the end. So what do you find? The entire poem is an example of enjambment. Okay, you pick up any line and you'll find enjambment over there. Okay, the sentence ends but not mentioned by the punctuation. Clear? Clear? Okay. Next is, the way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. Okay, the way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. Okay, but when I read this poem, a scene is drawn on my mind. Okay, when I read this poem, I start feeling that here definitely I'm sitting, or the poet is sitting under a tree, and the crow is just making the dust fall upon him. So this scene, if this scene is created in our mind, then we would have imagery. Okay, when the scene of what is spoken is created on your mind. We call it imagery. Getting it? So when I read this poem, I have that scene on mind. So I'm telling you that imagery is also used over here. Has changed my heart, has and heart. Okay. In the second stanza, we have has and heart. 2H together. Okay. 2H together. I'll use the red pen so that it will be visible clearly. Has and heart. Okay. Saved in some part. Okay. And my and mood. Okay. So ultimately alliteration is visible now. Okay. So ultimately we can see alliteration is also present over there. What is alliteration? Alliteration is repetition of same consonant sound in the same line. Remember, it should be its starting, the beginning sound, the beginning consonant sound. Okay, it should be same beginning consonant sound. Okay, remember, it should be beginning consonant sound. It is not like that a sound is coming in middle or at the end. Okay, so what do we find? We found three figure of speech in this: enjambment, imagery, and alliteration. Is this clear? Clear? Okay. Questions? Question number 1 is, how do you know the poet is in negative mood? Maybe, what is the poet's mood in this poem? Okay. Why does the poet talk about crow and hemlock, which are generally symbolized as the negative natural objects? So why does the poet use them? Okay. Next, what change does the poet have after the snow fell upon him? Next is, what brings change in the mood of the poem? Getting it? Next is summary of the poem, rhyming scheme of the poem, and figure of speech of the poem. This is how this poem gets over. Anything, any doubt, any question you rise up with, then you can just ask me that question either on my WhatsApp number or on the comment box on YouTube also. So I'll definitely try to solve your query. Thank you. Have a nice day.